Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jan. In a few days, or pretty soon, Father's Day will be here. It's June 18th, and I've been wondering what kind of gift would be a really good one. And I think dads, granddads, uncles, maybe even a teacher would appreciate something that's sentimental. And that means something that you have personalized just for them. So one idea is to decorate a mug. Now there are special paints. There's something called multi-surface paint, which can be used on ceramics, glass, fabric. That has multi-uses, so that's a pretty good idea. And there's also glass paint and paint that's just for ceramics. There are markers, pens, and then stuff in a bottle, which is what I use today. I find these easier because you can buy them one at a time. Now here's the idea. You use alphabet stickers to write Dad or Daddy or whatever. If he has a nickname like Pops, something like that, that would make it even more personal. But the idea is to do something like this, where the name is blocked out with the stickers, and then you take paint, and I've absolutely gone wild here with the colors, and dipped the end of a pencil, the eraser, nice and flat, and made polka dots. In between colors, I let it dry for about 10 or 15 minutes, which is really hard to do. I want to just go ahead and do all of it, but that's what I did. And then after it's thoroughly dry, I removed the stickers. Now these are hearts. I couldn't find any heart stickers. So what I did was take a piece of painter's tape, maybe even masking tape would work, and folded it in, the smooth side together. Because obviously if you put the sticky side together, you would never get it open. And this is a little bit tricky, but it seemed to work fairly well. And then I just cut out a heart. You could also do a heart, a star, or anything you like. And that's kind of what it looks like. So I put that on the mug. So when you start this, make sure the mug is nice and stable. So by putting it here with the handle down, that worked really well for me. And if he's right-handed, you might want to put it on the right side. If he's left-handed, you might want to put it on the left side. That's just a possibility. So here is a heart that I've cut out, not the world's best heart. And then I think I'll do the word pop. So when it only has 3 letters. So I will put the middle letter on the inside. I would like to put the middle letter on the inside, on the middle where I'm going to put the word pop. And if you want to line up the letters, an idea is to take tape, like painter's tape, and just make a line, if you want to do that, wherever you would like the letters to be. So the O would be in the center, and then a P on either side. And that gives you the idea of how to do it. And you want to make sure that they're really pressed down, because we're going to paint over them, and you don't want the paint to seep through. So that's the idea. That's not perfectly done, but gives you the idea. And then, as I said, I took a pencil and I dipped it in paint, and I did use multi-surface paint. Always give it a good shake, because paint is made of different components and you want them all mixed together. And then I like to just squeeze them out on a little paper dish and dip the end of the pencil in it and then press it here, and I'll do that. So it goes right over the letters like magic. And then if you want something larger, if you want a larger dot, you can cut the end off a carrot. Now I chose a really round carrot. So let's see how that works. So I like the idea of the big dot. Let's see how that works. Little squidgy. There. There, that was a good one. So I got one good one. that gives the idea. Now, if you want to wipe it off, of course, and start again, you can do that. Now, another idea, if you want to use just one color, is to do something like this, a heart. So I cut a heart out of paper and taped it on the mug. And it's good to leave a little room here, because you really don't want to touch the paint if possible. And then I drew around it with a water-soluble pen, and then took that off, and then placed the letters where I thought the center would be, and then placed them on, and then painted with a brush. And also on the handle, it's nice to do a little tiny heart. So whatever you'd like to do, something sentimental, something that you have had a personal touch with, I think is something they would really love. And there's a way to make this permanent. Each company have slightly different directions, but in a nutshell, after painting, you usually let it dry a few days, 72 hours. Then put it in a cold oven. That means the heat is not turned on yet. Then you turn the heat on. And the idea is that it slowly warms up. And then after the amount of time, this one says 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then you turn the heat off. Don't open the oven door and let it cool down. So this is the way to really cure it. But read the directions, because they all might be a little bit different. So that's an idea. Happy Father's Day, or Grandpa or Uncle. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. Now in July, we have a very special holiday. It's July 4th. And in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. And we have celebrated every year after that. We have big fireworks to watch, either on TV or even locally, which is fantastic. Sometimes we have sparklers. And using the colors of the flag, red, white, and blue, we can make decorations. And one of my favorite shapes or icons is a 5-pointed star. Now I have a question for you. Do you think that we can make a star, cut a star, 5 points with one snip of the scissors? I will show you that yes, we can. So I will just put this here. First of all, I have a sheet of paper. Paper is essential. Cardstock was just too thick. So the first thing we do, 8.5 by 11 approximately, is we fold it in half. I match the corners and I press this. And it's true with origami or any kind of folding technique that the edge should be nice and sharp. I use the edge of a pencil. Now the next step is to find the center of this down here. I could measure it with a ruler, or I could fold this edge over so the corners meet, and just mark this with my thumb right there. And that's the center. I'm going to mark it with a pencil just so you can see it better, but you don't have to do that. Now I can open this like a book. The folded edge is right here. Now I want to take this upper left-hand corner and pull it over and pull it right to that dot. I'm going to hold it and press this like this. And again, you can pause the program so you can see it step by step, and do it along with me, because it took me a few tries to remember this. The next thing, so we have 3 sections showing. I want this triangle right here, and I'm going to fold it over as precisely as I can so it looks like that. And again, fold it with, or press it really smoothly with a pencil. So now you have, looks like 2 identical sizes of triangles right here if you look like that. Now I'm going to fold this whole section over so that I match the edges. Okay, and now I'm going to press it with my finger and then really do a nice sharp press with a pencil. Now you have something that looks like this. Now we're going to cut this. Now I want you to see this edge right here. We have to make the cut slightly above that because that's one point of the star. So I'm going to cut it like something like this. I want to cut it at an angle with a nice big pair of scissors. Then open it, V for victory. I keep opening this. Oh, it is looking like a star. Now I have half a star, and there's the whole star. So you can do it. If you want, you can press all these creases so it stands up something like this, if you want to do it. Now the next thing is there are a couple of ideas of what to do with these stars. You can color them with markers or paint, whatever you like. You can take one of the stars and trace it onto a cereal box so that you can trace it onto stiffer paper if you want these colors. That's one idea. Or you can take one of the bigger stars and punch holes at the top and thread it so you can hang each one individually, or you can put a whole bunch on a garland. Now this will work indoors or outdoors, unless it's really windy, of course. I'll just show you a little mistake that I make, because it's always good to know. I punched 2 holes at the top before I colored in this part, and I did it the wrong way. So I thought, now what do I do? Well, so I put it like this, and then I punched holes all the way around. So that's one idea to save it. Another idea, I'll show you some of these stars, is to take big stars decorated with markers, or the little stars that I use paint. I dipped the end of a pencil in white paint and made these polka dots. So you can line these up. This, I traced a little star that I found. I think it was online. I did not draw these freehand, but you are welcome to do that. You can also do stripes, really easiest to do with a marker. You can keep on going and just do all sorts of different designs, whatever you would like to do. So one idea that I like a lot is a table runner. This could be for a picnic table. You can take red, white, and blue strips of paper. These are about 2 inches wide and about 11 inches, or whatever the length of the paper is. And then just glue them together, overlap them just a little bit. You can also use all white. You can use white and put 2 stripes in it. But this is the base for the table runner. And then you can glue stars on top. And I think that is so festive. Just to give you an idea, and then put it on a table. You can put little stars in between here if you like. You can just make stars wherever you want. You can also press the creases of the star like I was starting to do earlier and just scatter them over the table or around the house, whatever you would like to do. So here's to a wonderful July 4th celebration. Thank you for watching. Have fun making stars. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. I'm Jann. Today we can have some fun with ink blots, or paint blots because we're using paint. So what I did is take a piece of paper, like construction paper or art paper, fold it in half and drew half of a butterfly. And then I opened it up and put some drops of color on one side, folded it back, pressed it, and then when I opened it, it's almost like tie-dye because you never know what it's going to look like. It looked like this. So that's one butterfly. Now you can also use a grocery bag. the paper is really good quality. It's nice and sturdy, and it works beautifully. So here is another color combination. And you can get a lot of butterflies out of one grocery bag. Now I'll show you how to do this. The shape, even though I cut a butterfly, you can cut a heart, a flower, anything you like, and work with it. And you don't even have to cut it if you don't want it. You can just keep it as a straight piece of paper. So I cut it in half, and I'm going to open it, place it on a surface, because this gets a little bit messy. And I've chosen 3 colors. You can do whatever colors you like. 3 is nice. Sometimes I go hog wild and do more. So first of all, I'm only going to put paint on this side. So I want the body. I think I'll use blue on for the body, and I'm going to try and just squish it out. And it's probably never going to be perfect. So there's some. And I think I will do orange. The next color will be orange. And I'll just draw a few little stripes. Maybe some pink. I said you never know how this is going to turn out. I think I'll do pink right here. Maybe a little bit on the outer part of the wings. Maybe some here. And I think I'll add some blue to sort of echo the body. And maybe in between the pink. You just never know what it's going to turn out like. As I said, it's so much fun. And we'll see what that looks like. Now I'm going to fold it in half. And you do want to put another piece of paper, a scrap piece of paper over it, because the paint will probably squish out. And you just press it all over, like that. I hope that's enough. And then you get to see this first. So there's another butterfly. That's kind of fun. Now I'll show you something completely different. Now the next thing we can do is make the paint blobs on fabric. I'm thinking it's summertime. It's great to tie-dye a shirt. That's a very involved process, but super fun. But here's another idea for a summer t-shirt. You can print on fabric on the t-shirt. You want to wash the t-shirt first to get all the, the finishing out of it. And then we can use fabric paint or the multi-surface paint that also works here. And what's so good about this is you don't have to heat set it. You just have to let it dry for 3 days, and then it's done according to these directions. And when you wash it, you want to turn it inside out and, of course, do a really gentle wash. Now, I asked my husband for his rattiest t-shirt, and I'm going to show you. This is the first one I ever did. I really did go wild. This is it. So I don't know if he'll wear it, but anyway, it's just kind of fun. I like the colors. So I'm going to do something a little bit more reserved here. And we need a piece of either a manila folder or some kind of heavy paper that's very smooth. A grocery bag will not work here because it's rather porous and it tends to absorb the paint. We want something that's going to let the paint transfer to the t-shirt. So this works pretty well. The first thing we need to do is mark. Actually, so here's the t-shirt, to mark where the edge of the t-shirt is so you don't go past it. So that's a pretty good idea. So we want to put the paint in this area. And remember, it will spread out in ways that you've never expected. So I've decided that I will use 4 colors here. I'm going to use red, orange, blue, and yellow. And you can just feel free to do whatever you want. This is really, I think I went over the edge there. I always shake it. Paint, it's always a good idea. I mean, I have no idea what this is going to look like. So that's the fun of it. I think it's really hard to go wrong. I think it's, it's just super fun. So, and the last one will be orange. And I think a little bit here at the top. Heaven knows what this is going to be like. Okay, as you can see, that is pretty wild. Now I'm going to fold this over and press it. And just hope that it's kind of fun. Now before I open it, I'm going to slide this over. And it is important to put a piece of cardboard in the t-shirt. And that does two things. It lets you smooth out the surface. And also it keeps the paint from seeping through to the back. So it's really important. So I'm going to open this. This looks like something that would be at the Museum of Modern Art. Okay, and now I'm going to center it over the t-shirt, or try to anyway, and then press it. And you want to really press it because you want to make sure the paint transfers from the folder, or from the paper, to the t-shirt. So let's see what happened. Ah, so there it is. There's a summer t-shirt for you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Crafts for Kids. Today I'd like to introduce you to raised salt painting. First you squiggle on some white glue, then you sprinkle it with salt, and then you can paint it or drop color onto it. I'll show you how to do that. You can also do something like use the back of a paper plate, which can be white or colored, and do the sun or an animal head or a clown. Or you could make a card using cardstock. And I wouldn't mail this one because it would probably crush it, but you could hand deliver it. And you can also do this on dark paper. So here it is on black. It looks much paler on black. Now, first thing you do is open up your white glue and you just start drawing. You can have something drawn that you color afterwards, or you can just freehand it. So I have drawn a heart here, and I'm laying in some glue. You want a nice thick thing, and I'm going to do some lines across it, so it's kind of a modern heart, and it will complete the outside of it. This can be any shape, of course, whatever you'd like. I love working on cardboard. It just works so well with the glue and the salt. And after I do this, I can either let it dry overnight, or I can start painting immediately. And it depends on what you would like to do. I'm going over the really thin part now. And I have noticed that every container of glue comes out differently. Some come out thin, some come out thick. You just never know. This one is pretty thin. Now I'm going to keep on going and just, you can make as many lines as you want. And you can also write a word. You could write someone's name for a birthday card. You could put the word love in here because it's I'm making a heart. I'm just going to do a few more. It's fun to have different lines because you can paint them different colors. I'll just keep on going here. It's a very inexpensive craft. Ah, I didn't finish one of the lines. Let's do this right here. And then I have one more to go. And I have a few little spots to fill in. And one more line right here. Okay, now the next step is to put some salt on it. And you'll notice I have a tray underneath. And that's because it can collect all the salt. And then we keep it here because we can reuse it, for other crafts. So I just put a generous amount of salt on. And if I were to leave this overnight, I would leave it just like this. I actually think that's the best way. But luckily, I can show you right now how to paint that. Now, I have this image. Now I have liquid watercolor right here. And I also have watercolors here. You can use either or both. Maybe there's a color that's not here, or that it happens to be here, or either one. I will use the liquid colors right off the bat. I think I'll try this color. And you want to have quite a bit on the end, and you just touch it. Can you see how that just spreads? It is so much fun. And this is just like magic, I think. Look how that moves. I do have something underneath too in case something drips. I think I'll do that too. And then you need water. If you just use one brush, you can use one brush for every color, as long as you have water to clean the brush. Okay, I think I'll use sort of a yellow-orange here. And it's so much fun when it blends with the other color. I think I'll put some over here too. It's just, I adore watching this. It's sort of hypnotizing. Now I don't think I have an exact red, so I'm going to use some red from this just to show you do want this nice and loose. A lot of water here. If it's too dry, let's see if I've got enough water in here. See, not quite enough water. So I have to use quite a bit here. It should be really, really wet. Let's see if that's enough. No, not quite. So if you're using watercolor, you might consider just putting a drop of water afterwards. But I think I'll stick with the liquid watercolors. Let's see what the next color is. Let's see, I'll try this. Ooh, that's really dark, but fun. See, it's just kind of coming alive. And the water is changing all sorts of pretty colors. Let's see what this color is. Oh, it's just kind of a red. Now I have some other colors I didn't try, so let's try those. Ooh, that's very dark green. And that is just about it. I have one last color that I didn't use here. And that is just about it. Did I use this color? I think I did. Okay. So there you have it. That is raised salt painting. Super, super fun. White glue, salt, colors, and a paintbrush, and you're good to go. So have some fun with it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.